Hi, I'm Lucy Ellis, Senior Writer at Scrip, and I'm here at BioEurope Spring in Barcelona. And this time I'm joined by Andrew Mackie, the Chief Business Officer of Ergomed, a clinical co-development company. So thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
I wonder if you could start actually with, you've got a slightly different business model, if you could talk about how that works.
Sure. Ergomed started out life as a clinical CRO, so running clinical trials as a service to other companies, and grew for about 10 years, sort of expanding geographically and getting a bit of an experience base. Then about 10 years ago, the company decided that it really wanted to try and develop shareholder value in a slightly different way. On the one side, by increasing the revenues year on year, pretty stable growth, very low risk. But on the other side, getting access to drug development, getting some access to the potential of products in development. And part of the philosophy behind it was we see that there's a great potential in the product acquisitions and product partnering, but also we see that it's a nice balance between using our clinical expertise to help develop products. So then the next step of the company is we started a pharmacovigilance business. So this is actually supporting products once they're on the market and their safety reporting. So now we have two service divisions. They generate about £38 million in revenue every year.
Yeah.
From the profits of that service division, we redeploy some of them into product development. On the product side, we have access to products in two ways. One is we bought a biotech company in Nottingham last year that had one clinical stage and one preclinical stage product in the surgical bleeding space. So they discovered a peptide that binds to fibrinogen and forms a blood clot, and that can be used when you have an uncontrolled bleed during surgery. So now, like other biotech companies, we're developing a couple of our own products. And then finally, we have a shared risk business model. So what we do is we offer to run clinical trials with biotech companies and pharma companies, but we offer to discount the amount that we would charge those clients in exchange for some upside in the product.
Yeah. So what kind of companies are you looking to make those deals with?
So when we first started thinking about this model, so I've been with the company about 2 years, but I worked with them for about 10. When we first came up with this model, the idea really that we thought this model would be most attractive with was the typical biotech company, VC-backed single product where they needed to save every penny they could, but they also needed a clinical partner to help them develop the asset. But then lo and behold, the second deal we did was with Genzyme, and we saw that actually different companies across the spectrum have an interest in our shared risk business model, because not only do we run the studies for them, so if they need the operational capacity, we're a good partner. Everyone likes to save a little bit of money, and even the big companies saving a few €1 straight to the bottom line is helpful. But actually people also like the idea of the long-term commitment, that we're a partner for the life cycle of the product. So we see that we have clients from very big to very small companies. But really I've come here to BioEurope really mostly just to speak to primarily biotech companies, because I still think this is one of the most rich opportunities for the model.
And why do companies choose that kind of partnership then? What do you pitch to them?
So I guess really what they're looking for is a couple of things. So again, everyone's looking to maximize the cost of capital, right? So the cost saving is obviously important, but more important to them is a credible partner who they have confidence that can develop their product. So Ergomed's been around for 20 years. We've got operational history, we've got the stability, we've got a wide therapeutic experience, and being publicly traded gives us a little bit of greater visibility. So people feel comfortable working with us because they know we've been around for 20 years, but also we seem like a stable and solid company.
Yeah, and are there particular therapy areas you're interested in?
So over the years, we've developed experience in a number of therapeutic areas. And actually, if you look to our experience tables, we could probably talk about almost everything. But what we try and focus on the co-development side particularly is oncology, because we've run hundreds of trials in oncology, recruiting more than 5,000 patients.
Yeah.
We've done as the group developed, we happened to do quite a lot of CNS work, so specifically in MS and pain. So neurology is another area of focus. Thirdly, we've done a lot of work in allergy and immunology. So again, we try and target in that area, mostly because we have the good investigator links, we have confidence that we know how to run these trials, and we have quite a lot of experience in sort of designing and developing protocols in that space.
And you mentioned obviously experience in a lot of areas, but are there any therapeutic areas you avoid at the moment?
Not really. I mean, I think potential partners may self-select us. So I guess as a company, there are certain therapeutic areas that we don't have as profound experience in, maybe cardiovascular. But to be honest with you, it's all about the right fit for the right study. So we do a couple of things differently than other CROs. So in addition to the CRO, we also run a site management organization. So basically we contract with hospital staff to set up the infrastructure to run clinical trials more effectively. So if there's a particularly complicated study out there that needs some additional support, the site management model would be applicable to that study. So there could be a therapeutic area, a study in a therapeutic area that we haven't worked in that lends itself to the site management model, so that a partner would come to us for that reason.
Okay, and is there a level of development you look at? Is it early stage, late stage?
Well, we're a clinical-based CRO, so really it's pretty much from phase 1 to 4.
Yeah. And what are your targets then for Ergomed in 2017?
Okay. So as I mentioned, we have two sides of the company, the service side generating revenue and the product side. What we want to try and do is grow the two sides of the company in balance.
Yeah.
So on the service side, we're looking obviously to maximize revenues from the existing businesses, but we're also looking out for M&A opportunities. So last November, we bought a company out of the Czech Republic called Pharma. They are a regulatory and pharmacovigilance specialist group, and so we've brought them into our PV business. We're on the lookout for other CRO and PV businesses to help maximize the revenues there, and also to expand the spectrum of services we offer. And then on the product side, we hope to do more co-development deals, so to keep building that pipeline and to grow both sides of the company. So as we increase the revenues, we get more profit, we can do more exposure on the product side.
And with those acquisitions then, are you looking to expand more internationally as well?
Yeah, that's part of it. So certainly service offering spectrum, but geographically as well. So depending on which business you're looking at, in pharmacovigilance, we're probably quite comfortably the leading independent PV service provider in Europe.
Yeah.
But we have quite a ways to grow in the US. So I think it'd be fair to say we're looking out for opportunities to grow the PV business in the US, whether that's organically or through acquisitions.
Yeah. And finally then, you've said a bit what you're looking for, but further ahead, maybe 5 years time, where would you like to see the company?
So, I mean, our CEO has the ambition of being $1 billion company. So that comes from increased product revenues, but really it comes from some successes in the product. So we're looking to grow in a sort of a risk-managed way, right? So the continuing growth in the service side means we're a fairly low risk in terms of investors, but we're hoping to build some significant value through the product successes.
Great, it sounds like an interesting model, and we'll keep an eye on that.
Very good.
Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you very much.